Jade Cargill has once again found herself at the center of a major conversation, not only because of her own career decisions but also because of the things she says publicly about WWE and its backstage culture. In a business where so much happens behind the curtain that fans rarely get to see, Jade has never been afraid to peel that curtain back, at least a little, and let people in on how things really are. And that willingness to talk honestly about sensitive matters has put her in the spotlight in ways that many other wrestlers might have shied away from. WWE and Netflix teaming up with an Unreal series is already giving fans an unprecedented look into the drama that unfolds backstage. But Jade's comments have added another layer of intrigue. Her career has been unusual in that almost everything about it has been out in the open. Her beginnings, her growth, her setbacks, and the decisions she's made have all been scrutinized by fans and insiders alike. When she first arrived in professional wrestling, she made an immediate impact. Her debut in AEW was explosive, and from that very moment, she was someone fans knew would be a major player. The next big step, her move from AEW to WWE, was just as public and just as significant. Every stage of her career has been tracked in real time, not only through what happens in the ring but also with the behind-the-scenes details that inevitably make their way into the conversation. That includes everything from her injury struggles to the storylines she's been part of. For instance, when she was written off television last fall, WWE used a whodunit-style angle to explain her absence. She was shown laid out in the parking lot, and fans were left guessing who could have attacked her. Eventually, it was revealed to be Naomi. But in truth, the real reason Jade disappeared from television wasn't storyline related at all. She was dealing with a serious neck injury, one that doctors said would eventually require surgery. So controversy has never been far from her, whether it's what's happening on screen or what's happening in reality. That same willingness to speak honestly came into play again recently when Jade discussed WWE's women's-only event, Evolution. Evolution is an interesting chapter in WWE history. The original show was held in 2018, and it came about largely because of the controversies surrounding the company's partnership with Saudi Arabia. At that time, women were not permitted to perform on WWE's Crown Jewel events due to Saudi cultural restrictions. The backlash from fans was loud, and WWE needed to make a move to address the criticism. Their response was Evolution, the first ever all-women's pay-per-view. It was a historic night, but then it vanished from the schedule. Despite fans clamoring for more, WWE didn't bring Evolution back for years. It wasn't until early 2025 that the company finally hosted another Evolution event. At that show, Jade Cargill faced Naomi in a no-holds-barred match, with Bianca Belair serving as the special guest referee. The match was high-profile, a big moment for both Jade and Naomi, and a strong showcase for the women's division as a whole. But it's what Jade said after the event that really stood out. Speaking on the Babyfaces podcast, she admitted that there had been genuine concern backstage before the event about whether fans would actually show up. Wrestlers worried that attendance might be low, that the atmosphere wouldn't be there, and that the show might feel flat. Jade explained that, in the end, those fears turned out to be unfounded. The crowd was electric, and the energy inside the arena helped elevate the show into something truly special. She said it was incredible to see so many people turn out and support the women, especially when the storylines leading into the event hadn't been particularly strong. From her perspective, and from the perspective of many in the locker room, it was a major relief and also a point of pride. Not only did the fans come out, but they were invested and loud, which made the night feel historic all over again. For Jade, that's proof that Evolution should not be a one-off or a rare occurrence. It should be something WWE does every single year. Looking at the crowd reaction, she wasn't wrong. Fans were into it from start to finish, and they showed with their presence and their passion that women's wrestling has a strong and dedicated audience. At the same time, Jade's comments about the doubts inside the locker room made sense. Heading into Evolution, there really wasn't much buzz. WWE had a stacked schedule that particular weekend, with Friday Night SmackDown, another premium live event on Saturday, and then Evolution on Sunday. That kind of schedule forces fans to pick and choose where they put their energy, their time, and their money. And it was clear that Evolution was not the top priority for WWE's marketing team. They hyped the Saturday event far more, leaving Evolution to feel like an afterthought in the build-up. That lack of promotion is part of a larger pattern with WWE. For years, fans have been asking when Evolution would return, but the company consistently chose to delay or dismiss the idea. This was in spite of the fact that the women's division is as strong as it has ever been. On Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, women's wrestling has flourished. The roster is stacked with talent, and the quality of matches and storylines has consistently been on par with, and in some cases better than, what the men are doing. Yet WWE has been hesitant to commit to another all-women show. That disconnect between what the fans want and what the company chooses to deliver has frustrated many. When a product is hot, when it has the ability to draw real interest from the audience, the smart move is to capitalize on it. And right now, WWE's women's division is exactly that: hot. There's star power, there are great wrestlers, there's demand, and there are storylines that can be told. But for years, WWE simply refused to pull the trigger on another Evolution, and when they finally did in 2025, it was overshadowed by other events on the same weekend. That's a failure of promotion, not of the talent. Jade Cargill's point that Evolution should be a yearly tradition is a valid one. There's no reason WWE can't carve out a space for it on the calendar and give it the proper hype it deserves. It doesn't have to be every October, as the original one was. It could be held at any point in the year, so long as it's given proper build. Done right, Evolution could become something akin to WrestleMania, but focused entirely on women. Imagine a card that brings together current Raw, SmackDown, and NXT stars, mixes in returning legends for special appearances, and even features talent from outside promotions. With WWE now forming partnerships with groups like AAA and TNA, the door is open for cross-promotion. Evolution could be the show where all those pieces come together, giving fans dream matches and creating unforgettable moments. Unfortunately, whether WWE will actually commit to doing Evolution on a yearly basis remains uncertain. Triple H has publicly said that it's something they'll see about, which is far from a promise. There have been no official reports or announcements about Evolution becoming an annual event, so while fans and wrestlers alike might want it, it's still very much up in the air. That's typical of WWE. They like to keep things ambiguous, leaving people guessing about what might come next. The larger issue is that WWE often says it takes women's wrestling seriously, but then their actions don't always match their words. Evolution is a perfect example. They have the roster depth, they have the fan support, and they have the history, but they hesitate to fully commit. It sends a mixed message to fans and to the wrestlers themselves, and that's why Jade's comments resonated, because she was simply voicing what many others have been thinking but not saying out loud. Still, one thing is clear. If and when WWE does hold another major all-women's event, Jade Cargill is going to be a centerpiece. Her star power, her athleticism, and her presence make her an obvious choice for a featured role. Whether it's in a singles match, a championship bout, or even a marquee dream match, she will be one of the stars around whom the show is built. And given how outspoken she has been about the importance of Evolution, it's only fitting that she would play a leading part in whatever future the event has. At the end of the day, Jade's willingness to speak her mind adds to her aura. Fans want honesty, and they want to hear the real stories behind what they're watching. That's why the WWE Netflix Unreal series is going to draw so much attention, because it promises that behind-the-scenes look. And Jade Cargill, with her history of transparency, fits perfectly into that narrative. Her career has always been on display, not just the victories and the highlights, but also the setbacks, the injuries, and the doubts. And by admitting that even the locker room had concerns about Evolution, she once again reminded everyone that the wrestlers themselves are human, with their own worries and hopes. Evolution 2025 ended up being a success despite the shaky build-up. The crowd delivered, the wrestlers delivered, and the show proved that women's wrestling can absolutely stand on its own as a marquee event. The challenge now lies with WWE. Will they take advantage of this momentum and make Evolution a permanent fixture on the calendar? Or will they once again let the idea slip away, leaving fans disappointed? No one knows for sure, but what we do know is that as long as Jade Cargill is around, the conversation about Evolution, and about the importance of women's wrestling, isn't going away anytime soon.